A simple title and a simple story. Not a lot of preface for this one, so let's get into the story. Frank Zito is a man that is tormented by childhood abuse. He randomly murders women and cuts off their scalps as trophies. He meets and befriends a female photographer, and is she going to be the one to end his killing spree, or is she just another victim? This movie is kind of like a gory and more gratuitous version of Psycho, even down to the generic sounding title. You have a man who is obsessed with his mother despite the fact that she abused him for her entire life. She eventually dies, but he still loves and remembers the good parts about her, if there even was any. However, instead of pretending to be his mother and killing people, he kills in her name, kind of. Goddamn, why is it so many horror movie villains have mommy issues? Also, Zito isn't some attractive young guy like Norman Bates or Mark Lewis who is a sicko only in his mind, nor does he hide behind a mask. He's a gross, fat, and ugly motherfucker that parents teach their kids not to go near. It's kind of refreshing in a slasher movie though. The ugly guys usually get a mask to hide behind, but Zito is right out in the open. And no, I'm not counting Freddy Krueger because you could kind of count the burnt, charred face as a mask. Almost. At points throughout this movie, you really feel like he doesn't want to be doing this. He feels like he has to because of something, whether that be his mother or the abuse. It's never really clearly explained. And when something isn't clearly explained in a horror movie, it makes it scarier. Yet here you actually feel maybe sorry for him. Similar to Francis Dollarhide in Red Dragon, you feel sorry for him despite him being a sadistic murderer. Joe Spinell does a good job of a man that plays an almost innocent juvenile man one second and the next into a sadistic murderer that cuts off people's scalps. It's interesting and done rather well. Also, the weird groans and heavy breathing done in the film kind of adds to it. Weird, but good. The gore is, of course, amazing, thanks to guru Tom Savini, who actually plays a small part in the movie as well. The story is interesting because it's not non-stop murdering. There are a few scenes that develops the characters and makes them people. Plus, it showcases how Frank socializes and interacts with the world outside of his own. It's really, really great. Hell, I've even heard decent things about the remake, but I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. The thing is, I find this movie to be way more interesting than it should have been. Between all the gory deaths, you see Frank Zito as this almost layered character. It's almost as smartly written as Hitchcock's magnum opus. You don't really expect that from an exploitation slasher film, but to me, it's a great movie that showcases a compelling yet diseased mind. It's because of this that makes Maniac a step above most horror slashers. Give it a watch and judge for yourself.